digital, media.
And the crowd goes wild. Welcome back to another episode of the Monarch Social Podcast,
where we discuss all things digital, media.
and the crowd goes wild. Welcome, what's up, dude?
Oh, dude, just another day in the life.
Hell yeah, dude. How's your week going so far?
It's good, bro. I actually had the most beautiful wedding last night. It was
Wedding.
super beautiful.
Weddings are fun.
Mm-hmm. Two of my really good friends. It's cool because I know the girl and I know the guy, and it's just like I knew them before they knew each other, and then I watched their relationship blossom like a little flower.
God damn.
It was beautiful. Honestly, it was a really good.
I
wedding.
love love.
It was so cool, dude. My boy does the best speeches. Like, dude, it was fantastic all around. Good stuff. Morgan, how are you?
Dude, weddings are like great aphrodisiacs, by the way. Something in the air there's just like,
I know.
just saying. I won't get into that, but
Anyways, Morgan, how are you?
I'm
You
doing
always
good,
ask me
dude.
how I'm doing, dude. I don't feel like I never ask you how you're doing.
thanks, man. I'm doing great, dude. Doing really good.
Life.
Life's great.
How's your Pokemon?
Oh, dude. Mewtwo?
Mm-hmm.
My hairless cat is amazing.
Yeah.
She's growing.
She's getting rambunctious.
She's so rambunctious, dude. She does laps in the house. Just runs everywhere.
Zoomies?
And she does like parkour. Like, I'm not even
Really?
joking. She does parkour off of like the walls and stuff. Like, it's wild. It's wild. But
I really don't like cats and especially typically hairless cats. But dude,
there's something about her.
she's so cute, bro.
There's something about that Ripley Vaughn Peaches.
She's so freaking cute, bro. Her eyes with the like skin, I don't know what it is, but she's super adorable.
I took this picture of her standing in the window, and she's like stretched out and with her big eyes and head, and she like scares all the little kids that walk by the house. Yeah, just like staring them down. It looks like I have a gremlin in my house.
Oh, I know. She's cute.
It's good. I'm good. Thanks for asking, buddy.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you. We have a treat today. We have a really good treat. So, Koa, you kind of know what I'm going to do today, but typically, we have a guest or we kind of give them updates and stuff. But this time, I really wanted this to be informationally and educationally packed for business owners.
Yes.
We're a goddamn marketing agency.
It is what we do.
So I want to go through the top 10 questions every business owner should ask themselves in 2023.
Bada boom, bada bang. Let's
That's
get
a good
into
title,
it.
too.
That
That might
is.
be the YouTube title.
Yeah. Don't be
But these-
surprised.
So these are top 10 questions that a business owner should ask themselves when they're thinking about marketing. And I just want to jump right into it. And so I thought I would read the question, and then we can talk about it or skip it or whatever. And we'll just go with the flow and try to offer our insight as marketing people, as experts in the field of what they can do and how they can do it. Does that make sense?
I love it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Numero uno.
Number one.
Who is my target audience and how can I reach them effectively?
So that's a question that
The business owner should ask themselves.
100%.
So how do they figure out who their target audience is and how can they reach them?
Obviously, target audience. I feel like there's a ton of ways that you can do this. You can do this obviously by A and B testing. You can test different like types of ads that you're marketing towards, like different people call them avatars, personas. Like there's bunch of different ways to be like, hey, this is what this person is, and categorize that person like by age, by interest, by location. There's a ton of different ways to do that. Another way is obviously there's a lot of tools that will go through and they'll read data. SEMrush is one of those.
I would start even, where my mind goes with your target audience. I would start a few steps even before that of like, I would think if you have a service or a product, right? And the reason I start there is because that's going to depend on what platform you even run those ads on.
Oh yes,
And
you're talking
so-
about the bare bones. Yes.
I'm just thinking
100%. No,
out loud.
that's very
So
true.
if you have a younger demographic, if you think you have a younger demographic, like let's say fidget spinners, I don't know how many 50-year-old Nancys are buying fidget spinners. Maybe they will for grandkids. I don't know. We have to read the data.
See,
But
there's another. That's a persona. That's a whole nother.
that is a persona, right? So, but or a plumber. Let's think about plumbing. We do a lot of things with plumbers around here. I don't know how many like 18 to 25-year-olds own a house that are going to be looking for plumbing.
Exactly.
Right? So I would say the first thing you have to really get in your head is like you said, the persona of where are they at online? We're an online digital marketing agency. Like, we're going to be speaking online. I don't care about billboards. I don't care about TV, radio. It's all dead. No, it's not dead, but there's a time and place for that. But anyways, I would first think, is that, am I going to be searched on Google, or am I going to be like an informational and brand awareness like on social media?
Oh yeah, I think it's good to always put yourself in the customer's shoes. So like, I feel like by doing that, you have a better understanding of your product. Because like, let's use plumbing as an example. When was the last time where you have a plumbing issue happen and you're like, I'm going to jump on Facebook and I'm going to scroll until I find myself a good old plumber?
I just made that post. I did a speaking thing, Yeah. I did that. I just watched our episode where we got argued with each other. It was really funny. But I just did a speaking event, and that's one of the things I said. I said, if you spring a link in your house, I'm not going to Facebook to look for a damn plumber.
No.
So your target audience, you got to think about their digital traffic footprint.
Yeah, what they do.
Where
online.
are they going? Mm-hmm. So an older demographic is going to be on Facebook. A younger demographic is going to be on TikTok.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so many layers to that. But I do like how you brought up, like, you have to understand your product from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, you have to understand the people that are using your product,
and
figure out what they do online.
And then once you get to that, then you run those A/B testing, and you run those 2 ad sets.
Yeah.
Maybe you run one for Nancy, who's 50 and buying gifts for her kids,
for sure.
And maybe you run one for younger kids.
Dude, that's a great example. Like, think about it a lot off the top of your head. If you were doing if your company was pumping fidget spinners, you would never be like, 50-year-old grandma. But then all of a sudden A and B test, and you're like, let's just test this and go for the older demographic. And all of a sudden you're like, wow,
grandma has the money.
Grannies are still out here buying fidget spinners for all their little grandchildren.
Those are great stocking stuffers.
the best, dude.
The best.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have
you read
A and B testing once you have already established what you think it is. But another one, like, for business owners, is like, there are powerful tools out there that will give you a head start.
Yes.
Like SEMrush, SpyFu is one I've been using lately. But I mean, I guess SpyFu is more to see like what other companies are doing, like if they're doing Facebook ads, Google ads. But that also helps. You can literally look at your competitors, see what other people in the industry are marketing towards, and that at least gives you a head start if you're starting from the ground.
Hell yeah. Love it. Let's move on to number 2.
Let's do it.
Number 2, what are the unique selling points of my product or service, and how can I communicate them to potential customers? So we're on this plumbing kick, but so what are the unique selling points? I know we run ads for plumbers and HVAC and stuff like that. What are unique selling points that you use in your ad sets?
So in the plumbing industry, I feel like obviously the bare bones of what plumbing is pretty standard, where it's like, okay, if you have a busted pipe, you're going to go fix the pipe, right? But what sets people apart is their techniques. There's a million different techniques, and they're getting better and better. Like, the new one is where they reline a pipe. So like, say
I don't even know what that is.
So it's this whole brand new technique. So it's actually cool. So back in the day,
tell me your unique selling point.
Yeah. So your unique selling point would be, back in the day, we would have, if you had let's say your main line that goes all the way out from your house, right? The main line, the big bad boy.
If that poop chute.
Yeah, exactly. If that breaks, back in the day, you would have to literally dig up all of that piping that goes straight out to the main. Nowadays, they have this it's like a flexible lining.
The inflatable looking one, and they push it through?
So it's literally like they can push the lining through, and it relines the pipe, and then they use like a heated water to get it through there, and then it cools down and it seals and it hardens.
That's
so you
cool.
never have to dig anything up.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So that technique is what sets them apart, right? Because not everybody does that. And so for a consumer, they're like, oh, you guys don't have to dig up my whole front yard and then re-asphalt and re-landscape and do all this and that. You guys can just come in and shoot this line through, and it just gives me a brand new pipe that's better than ever. Like, that's a selling point.
Yeah.
And so that's what's unique about it. And it's hard to be unique inside of a industry like plumbing.
Yeah, it's hard to be unique anywhere. I feel like one of the things that comes with a unique selling point is here in Utah, we're huge on fucking cookies.
Yeah.
Right? Like, cookie industry here is insane.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they use is their weekly flavors or their monthly flavors or whatever it is. we have a client that does cupcakes. We've talked about them before,
yeah.
and they do different kind of seasonal stuff.
Seasonal, holiday. Every month there's new flavors.
So one of the things that you can do as a business owner is really think about what sets you apart, highlight that, run it, read the data to see if it made an impact, and if it not, go to the next selling point.
See, and I feel like that's a kind of bleeds into the other one. It's like really understanding your product and seeing what other people, not even other people, but seeing what can set you apart in the industry. Like what can you do that's a little bit different?
Number 3 is very similar. It says, how can I differentiate my business from my competitors in the market?
What can I do to differentiate? So it kind of bleeds into exactly what I just barely
said. It's kind of
said.
like the same thing. What do you do different? And, because there's a lot of plumbers do plumbing. A lot of cookie people make cookie. So you have to highlight what is it about your product or service that makes you different. And it can go further than that of what you do as a company that makes you different. Is it your customer service? What is that Ken Garff billboard that we always see that's like, we listen, we hear you? Yeah, like we hear you. That's like they've gone so deep on that here in Utah, the Ken Garff Auto people. That's what they're highlighting to differentiate them from.
What is that highlighting though?
They if you say no, it means no. If you say, hey, I'll call you back, like they're really big on not being like the pushy guys. That they hear you. Hey, you need to fit this budget. That type of stuff. So they're going in on that. What separates them is like, we listen to you. If you say no, I'm not pushing it on you. If you say this is your budget, I'm not going to show you shit above that budget.
Oh yeah. See, and I feel like for example, I know a couple car companies that they have like the no haggle pricing. So like they price it with the way it's priced, and then when you come in, it's like going to a store. Like you're not going to try to negotiate how much this bar of soap costs. You know what I mean? You pull up to the register and be like, let's really talk about $5. Let's do it for $4.
Yeah,
like that's something that also sets them apart, and that's just obviously in the car industry. And I think, like I said, there's you got to figure out what works statistically inside of your like making sure you're still making money, obviously. But like doing some stuff to separate yourself, make it easier for the customer, and either just add value in a certain way or in a way that's just unique. That's just what's going to set you guys apart.
Adding value, I think, is always number one. Okay, let's get on number 5. We're cruising. We're cruising through these. But those were very similar. I'm sorry, this is number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4. What marketing channels like social media, email, paid advertising are most effective for reaching my target audience? How would a business figure out what's the best for them? Do they go social media? Do they do email marketing? Do they do text message marketing? Paid PPC, pay-per-click? What is the best way to go about?
Yeah, easy. Number 1 would be obviously just like we said in the first one, figure out a general idea of where your clients are at.
That's exactly right.
Right? The second thing would be testing.
It's testing.
Because like I said,
ideally, like this is the big thing, Koa. I think bigger companies, they cast this big net and they try all of them. They say they have the budget and they say, hey, we're going to try X, Y, Z. We're going to try it all.
And go all in on that too.
And then what works, they go all in on. And as small business owners or small companies, they have to kind of be more direct and say, I can't waste money here because that's not going to be effective. They have to be very methodical and calculated to say, hey, my target audience is on Google. They're searching for me, so I'm going to dominate Google. And they go all in on Google ads or SEO, right? Bigger companies can cast that wider net. So if you have a budget, cast a wider net, read the data, go all in on the data. But
I feel like there's I feel like, again, going back to the knowing your product, I feel like some of them, you're not going to really want to do social media, right? There's some that it's a direct purchase. At the same time, using social media is still a powerful tool. It's kind of like how we always say, it's like your digital billboard, right? Yep. It's letting people know that you guys are out there. So like looking back at like a plumbing company, I bet you 90% of people are going to go to Google or search engine to find that thing because they need that service immediately. But doing some light advertisements on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, at least puts your brand out there. So that when somebody does come into an issue where they need to use your service and they search for that service, they have that, oh, I've seen these guys before. Like I'm going to click on them because I somehow know them without really knowing them. You know what I mean? So I think it's powerful to obviously keep all options on the table as far as like what platforms you want to use. But then again, really dialing in, even if it's like 90% of my budget is going straight to Google Ads, using 10% just to show that you're active on some of these other ones, super powerful.
Super powerful. This isn't part of our questions, but I'm just curious. What's your favorite marketing channel and what's your least favorite marketing channel?
You know I'm an Instagram kid, man.
You love that Facebook, Instagram now?
I love Instagram. I've always loved Instagram. I will always love Instagram.
Like doing paid ads or content?
I mean, are we talking for me personally or
No,
for?
I'm just talking about for business.
For business?
Yeah, like for business. No, I mean, I know what you like personally.
I was gonna say it's
For
easy.
business, what's your favorite marketing?
I don't know,
channel?
man. It's my favorite ones are the ones that work. Like, like it's crazy because like when I'm
That's
working
the
with some
truest.
clients, I really love Google Ads. Like I nerd out because I'm like, dude, we're making so much money. This is so sick. But then other clients, it's the opposite. It's like they are not getting anything on Google, but they're slaying it on Facebook and Instagram. And so I'm like, oh, this is the best. So it's literally like depending on what client it is. And at the end of the day,
That's
it's
a good
whatever
answer.
one's working is the one that I like the most.
That's the best answer. Whatever works is your favorite for business, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, how do I number 5, how do I measure the success of my marketing efforts and what metrics should I be using or tracking?
How do you measure the success? So the brass tacks of it.
There's 2 that come to mind, which is ROAS and conversions. It's all about that
Yes.
conversion rate.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say. So your return on ad spend is huge. For all y'all out there, ROAS, ROAS, stands for return on ad spend. And a breakdown of that is it's a calculation of, okay, I spend $1, I'm making how many dollars back? So for every $1 I spend, I'm making X amount of dollars back. So that stat is obviously a huge one. A more basic one would be like your conversion value, because you essentially can do the same thing, right? You can say how much am I spending and how much am I making? And that's, at the end of the day, those are the 2 that most people like really care about.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, you spent $1,000, but you made $3,000.
Yeah, and I think we could even get more granular with that question because that's for ads. That's how you track the.
I was gonna say yes.
The
That's at the core, like at the core of it. That's what it is. But there's so many KPIs,
Yep.
key performance indicators along
That you
that
wanna
path.
track.
Oh yeah,
Like if you're running ads, yeah, like the conversion of your ROAS, you know, I think those 2 are super important. But let's say there's a company that doesn't have the marketing budget to run ads and they're doing content marketing. I think content marketing where they're just posting is one of the hardest forms of marketing. Okay, it just is. It's just,
trenches.
it's in the trenches. You have there's so much that
It's a lot of work.
there's
Like,
so much that goes into it, and I don't think business owners realize that. You know, if you find a good content house, stay with them. You know, it takes time. It takes time to get that. But anyways, how do you track the success of that? Is conversions. Are they clicking that link in the bio? I think that's what that comes down to. And then on the other hand of things, what do you track if you're doing SEO? Is website traffic.
Bingo.
And you're seeing where they come from. Hey, and you look at your rankings. Are you ranking higher? Are you getting more people to your website? That's how you would track those success. So depending on the channel that business owners are using, those metrics can be different that you want to be looking at.
Oh yeah.
So hope that helps. Number 6,
On to the next.
how can I create a consistent brand image and voice across all my marketing channels?
Ooh, it's a good one.
Number 1, I'll tell my pet peeve right now. I work with a business owner. When I work with business owners and I go to their Facebook and I go to their Instagram and I go to their website and their logo is different on every goddamn platform, it drives me insane.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like I'm with 3 different companies. I go to their Facebook and they have like a black logo and it's like completely different. And then I go to their Instagram and it's like a real photo. It's not like a logo. It's like a real photo. And their website's completely outdated or it looks
yeah.
completely different.
Oh yeah.
That's
a
brand
huge
consistency.
Yes, it's a
is
huge pet
with
peeve for me. I've been doing some. That's like one of the very first things I go through and I switch up. Even if it's like the same logo, but they use like a different colorway on it. You know, like some companies will have like 3 different colorways for their logo, and I'm like, yo, I don't like that we have this and this and this all over the place. Yeah, it's the same logo, but it's a different logo. It's technically a different logo, even though it's the same logo.
Yep. And I think that the one caveat that I would say about the voice part, so that's being consistent across all channels. The voice thing can be different though. And this is a hard concept to understand, but I think it's totally doable. Is if you have a product and you have those 2 personas that we talked about that are different spectrums of age gap, your voice will be different on TikTok than it is on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And so you can keep the same value and the same brand consistency, but your voice will definitely be different. And you know, you're going to be speaking to a younger crowd on different platforms.
For sure.
And you're going to be speaking to older people on different platforms. So I would keep that in mind as, you know, just because it works on Facebook doesn't mean that your voice should be the same on TikTok.
Right.
And just because it works on Instagram doesn't mean that
same voice
is on Twitter.
Yes. Dude, one thing I would say that's kind of like, so our goal is to keep everything consistent, right?
Yes,
Really, to be consistent, I feel like it takes a lot of planning.
it does.
Like, what you should do is you should plan everything out. Where it gets chaotic is if you're like, oh, I'm going to make a Instagram post. Oh, I'm going to go make a TikTok. Like, if you're just doing it day of,
Just randomly.
typically it's going to be very inconsistent because you are all over the place. Your vibe for that day could be a little bit different, or something could influence what you want to post that next day. But if you sit down and you're like, okay, this is our theme for the month. This is our end goal. Like, this is what we're trying to do. And then you can go through and make all of your posts all around the same time and schedule them out. Your brand consistency is going to be so much better because, again, it's all focused on 1, 2, 3 days, building everything out. And it's going to make your life so much easier. And it'll free up so much of your time if you can just sit there and get everything scheduled out and plan it all.
I 100% agree with you. If you're not posting, just fucking post. But eventually you want to get to this. If you're just posting sporadically and saying day of and you're just making posts, it's better to post than not. But you want to get to what Mako is just saying, where it's like, hey, there's an actual reason why we're posting. We're promoting this promotion. We're promoting this product this month, and this is what we're going to focus on. And then you get very consistent across platforms.
Exactly. Exactly. Something's better than nothing, but ultimately you want to have some structure and some plan to it.
Number 7, this one I can answer. I just talked about this with someone. It says, what is my budget for marketing and how can I maximize the return on investment or ROI of my marketing spend? So
what is it?
With your marketing spend, what your budget should be, if it's if it's B2C, so if you're going to the average consumer, business to consumer, you want your ad spend, or not ad spend, but your marketing budget to be about 5 to 7% of your revenue a month. If you're going B to B, it's a little more expensive. It's about 10 to 15 because it's more expensive to promote to companies. It's harder to get. So 5% and 10%.
Got you.
So that's the
cool.
easy.
Yeah,
now
that's
there's
cool.
outliers. Like I know there's people that spend 20% on marketing. I know there's people that spend 10%, when they're doing to consumer.
I've even heard of people where it's like, okay, we're going to allocate, let's just make it easy and say, here's $10,000 to run with. Now, out of that 10,000, we recoup that 10,000 back, and then anything that we get on top of that for the first couple months goes right back into marketing. So they've allocated a specific budget.
Yeah, I think
that's just in there.
Yeah, I think that there's like different ways to do your marketing.
For sure,
budget.
there is. But I like the way that you just
generally
explained it, because that's like reoccurringly, that's what's going to happen.
Because you're going to get more money in, and guess what? That 5%, it gets bigger every time. It stays 5%, but it becomes a bigger.
It grows as you grow. Yeah, I like that.
So, number 8. How can I leverage customer reviews and testimonials to build credibility and trust with potential customers?
How can you leverage them? So
video them, baby. Video's king. Get those testimonials on video.
This is what I'm thinking. When you say leverage, does that mean how can you use those reviews to get more customers?
Yeah. How can you use customer reviews to get more potential clients, or to
because I was thinking
it says to build credibility and trust with potential clients.
So, like I said, that's why I asked, because there's ways to get more reviews and how to
But how do we
videos of those?
To get
but
more?
How do you use them? Tons of ways.
Google
Obviously, you want
reviews.
Yes. So
get them in the first place.
You want to have them on all of the places, like Google. If you're on Yelp, you want to have that stuff on Yelp. Like for some of our clients, we literally have like a QR code that has all 3 links: Facebook, Google, and Yelp, or TripAdvisor. Like there's a bunch of different ones. So whatever's in your industry, like if you have a industry specific, I've even done things with Turo where it's like, okay, I need to get reviews on Turo because this is what I do. So that's one way. I also think highlighting those in your advertisements, I think that's a huge thing. Like I just made a whole bunch of mailers that we're going to be mailing out to people. And our whole idea was to be trustworthy, right? Be trustworthy. We wanted you to feel comfortable with having our guys come to your house and do whatever. we added a review. That was like the focal point of it. I took a review that was from this lady, and that was literally the headline for the whole thing.
Yep.
Because it shows trust, right?
Yeah.
Based on what they say, that's like relatable to who these people, you know, the people that are going to be actually seeing these ads.
No, I think that's perfect. If you can get a client doing a testimonial for you on video, I think that's king.
It's huge, yeah.
I would ask every single one of your existing customers to leave you a review, at least on Google. And then you can literally screenshot the review. You can share that review. You can put that anywhere at any time. Or if you have a video of it, you can share that too.
Yeah. Getting those reviews is super important. You want to
get them first, then share them.
Bingo.
That builds trust and credibility. Number 9, we're almost done. We got 2 more, baby. Let's go. Number 9, what types of events or promotions can I run to attract customers and keep existing ones engaged? Events and promotions.
You speak to that with the events.
Yeah, I do this for us. So like in our industry, we do 2 things. There's networking events that I go to and I speak at, and there's also events that we put on. We do that because it seems like every time that we do that, clients come in. Right. When they hear me speak or you speak at these events, I think, so what a business owner needs to do, you have to ask yourself, what would add value? I think events and what does it say? Promotions need to add value. So anytime you hear me speak or when you've spoken with me, we're adding value. It's kind of like this type of podcast that we're doing right now.
I was to say it's almost exactly
it's almost like this when we're at our events where we ask questions. We've done audits during our events.
Let people know the newest stuff. We're just giving them value.
We're just giving them value. And so if you can run an event that provides value, and I want you to think a little outside the box here. If you're a food truck, you can do any event and that provides value because you're giving food, you know? And so you really want to get creative with it and say, hey, where can I be and where my potential client's going to be? And would people come to this? But for us, it's, you know, we do speaking arrangements or speaking events and all the time.
It's really like a class. If you think about it, like I said, we're putting on a class.
Yeah, for us, it's a class. Like it's an educational class.
So as far as doing events, I mean, like every single place does events differently, like depending on what their industry is. Because I'm trying to think, like, how would a plumbing company do an event? It's kind of random, but I was just thinking in my head.
Because, like, think about, like, fairs and stuff like that. You can think of, like...
Like, is it just, like, even just sponsoring an event where it's, like...
having a booth at an event, you know? Yeah. Like, there's so many different types of events out there, like, where you can get a booth. Look into, like, your local place. Like, go to the Chamber of Commerce. They have events all the time going on. And say, how do I get a booth here? You know, or how do I do this?
Yeah, because then you're going... Okay, so, yeah, then you're going to, like...
Dude,
a home plate, like a home, I don't want to say home goods, but it's like a
home improvement
renovation, home improvement of event. Like conference event, convention. That was the word. I was like the Mountain America place up the street. Convention Center. But that's where you would have your booth at, and that's also that's your event. You're doing outreach. It's like, hey, we exist. This is some of the cool things we're doing. Exactly. Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So think about where you can get a booth. Get in touch with like your Chamber of Commerce. Put one at your own place if you can host one there. That's what we did. We did an event here at Rescope. We hosted it in our huge parking lot that we have, and it was super fun. Okay, last question, baby. Here we go. How can I stay up to date with the latest marketing trends and best practices and continue evolving my marketing strategy?
You know, one of the for newest things, cutting edge, like obviously you can just like stay on your phone, stay up to date, like follow the right things. But you know, one that has shockingly been like really powerful
I want to guess.
What?
Marketing Brew.
No, but it's right on that same lines.
What?
Emails. I get emails from Google and Facebook that are like, here's our new update. Here's this newest feature. Keynotes. Literally all
Google
those.
Keynotes are really good.
Dude, amazing. Like Google, I didn't even know this. Like you can change your campaign goal and then you can have instant forms just like you can do on Facebook. You can do that on Google too. So people can fill out a form without ever clicking on the website. They can click on your ad, fill out a form, and you're ready to rock.
The obvious one is glaring us in the face. You can listen to the Monarch Social Podcast.
That is a fact.
For your up-to-date latest marketing trends. All right? We talk about all sorts of shit on here, but
follow the right people.
Follow the right people. I like to do that. Speaking of podcasts, I listen to a lot of marketing podcasts because that's very industry specific to what we do. But for what you guys are doing, I would say, how do you stay up to date? I would look at what your competitors are doing, see if they're running ads. I would see where people are interacting. Like right now on TikTok, one of the big things is lawn care and pressure washing videos are huge, dude. Like there's some accounts out there that have hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're pressure washing sidewalks, or they're doing a time lapse of lawns that they're cut and like edge, and it's
and
like
they do the patterns, like
and they do the patterns, but they make it really nice. But like that's huge on TikTok, and so I would follow people that are in your industry on their social media and see what they're doing and seeing if they're gaining traction. But listening to podcasts, looking at YouTube, what people are doing. Having your pulse on competitors is always a good idea to have. I mentioned Marketing Brew earlier. Marketing Brew is an email that we do.
I think Marketing Brew is super sick, dude.
Yeah,
I like it. Just gives me like my little
tidbit,
little thing I need every morning. I also do a, and it's totally outside of this. This is more for news, but like that Up First.
Oh yeah, NPR.
I listen to that every single day, bro. I can't get my morning started without that.
Yeah. So NPR Up First is just to stay up to date with like politics and
just like what kind of what's going on, current events.
That little, but that helps me talk to people when I'm out in the world of business. You know, I'm like, oh, rather than being like, how's the weather? Yeah, I'm like, how's Russia?
And now I'm a little bit educated on what we're gonna talk about. I love it, dude. Ever since you showed me that, I cannot start my morning until I hear that. Like, dude, it's so crazy.
There's some good ones up there. I like listening to a wider range of different news things. But
you want to just, I guess, like, dude, at the end of it, you just kind of want to just surround yourself with that type of information. Whatever you need to stay up to date with, you can so nonchalant like that thing. It's literally my morning alarm, and I don't ever think about it anymore. But I'm just getting fed this kind of information just right off the bat, and now I'm a little bit more up to date than what a lot of people are.
Yep, and I think there's business owners out there that are kind of like they're in the trenches of their business, and so they're not even thinking about what we're saying right now. They're not even thinking about, oh, I need to look at what my competitors are doing. I need to see where they're at, where are they advertising, what's happening on. You know, if take your business vertical right now, for those listening, take your vertical, go to TikTok, type it in. So let's say you do cookies and type in best cookies and see what pops up. Okay. Let's see what the top accounts are doing with cookies. If you do lawn care, go type in lawn care in TikTok, or, transformation lawns. Because
honestly, you might be surprised. You might see some ASMR with people eating cookies that you didn't even know that's where your gold mine is.
You didn't even know. And so I would say just be creative with it. And if you as a business owner just don't want to do that stuff, assign someone in your company to do that,
or hire someone,
or hire someone and say, hey, just stay on top of this. Like, where do I need to go? Get a marketing strategist. Have a strategy session with a marketing company and say, hey, I need to know like what the
ins and outs are of this. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's it, Co. That's our 10 things that business owners should know in 2023.
Those are valuable.
Business owners, listen, marketing can be very daunting. There's so many things you can do. If you haven't marketed, or you need to start small, but be consistent. That's what I would say in closing.
Yeah. And it is almost the end of August.
We're getting into ad season.
Halloween. So I'm glad that we went over this, because this is great stuff for people that are just like wanting to do ads. Like I feel like it's like much more known that people need to do ads. Like think about when we first started, people didn't think they needed to do ads. People were on, we need to do posting.
We need to post.
I'm such a hater of posting, dude. I don't know what it is. I just think it's such a waste of time. It's not. It's not a waste of time.
It's just a long play.
I just like to spend my time doing things that are going to make money.
And we can track them way easier.
That is ads, dude.
But we are getting into ad season. We're going to be seeing Halloween stuff. We're going to be seeing Thanksgiving. We have Christmas, New Year's. It's ad season, baby. People are going to be ramping up their budgets for it. You're going to be busy.
Consumers are like, take my money.
You're going to be a busy man. The team's
always,
going to be busy.
The whole team's going to be busy.
Well, that's it for us today. If you guys let us know if you guys have any questions about this, and leave it in a comment. Reach out to Co or I, and we'll answer your questions. Yeah. Co Bear, where can they find us?
My lovely people out there. We can always see these podcasts. You can check them out on YouTube. You can check it out on our website. And you can listen to our voices on all major streaming networks, including Apple Music and Spotify.
You've nailed it.
That was a good one.
That freaking nailed it. All right, guys. Till next time. See ya.
Peace.